This movie finally proves, once and for all, that if the Universal monsters have to come back, they have the perfect guy to do them. Hi, everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raise on Popcorn with Grant, everybody. And today we are talking about a movie. Movies and TV, that's what we do here. And that movie is Wolfman. Wolfman is a loose, very loose reboot of the classic monster film. Um, from 1941, of course, starring Lon Chaney. It is co-written and directed by Lee Winnell. This is his latest effort, previously having written the Saw film, the first Saw film, as well as the Insidious films. He directed Insidious Chapter 3. He also directed Upgrade, which was awesome, and The Invisible Man, which was also awesome. They both made my best of list that year. Now he's here with Wolfman. The Invisible Man sort of revitalized the Universal Monsters, and now he's back with Wolfman. So what is the film about? Well, the film centers on Blake, played by Christopher Abbott, when he's a young boy in an early prologue. He lives off in the wilderness with his ex-military survivalist father, played by Sam Yeager, in a nice little extended cameo, of course, from Parenthood. And he trains him basically to be afraid of death at every corner, to kind of to the point of being psychologically abusive. And eventually, we jump ahead 30 years. Dear old dad has gone missing in the forest, and Christopher Abbott has lost contact. He's now, Blake is now played by Christopher Abbott. It's 30 years later. He has a young daughter, Ginger, played by Matilda Firth, who's quite a talented young actress, and is married to the lovely Charlotte, played by Julia Garner, who's always great. And they are, there's some struggle in the family. He's trying to be a good dad. He's trying to be the dad his father wasn't to his little girl. But, it's a struggle. You have to be firm, but you also have to be, compassionate and loving to your kids. It's difficult. When he gets a letter stating that his father, after going missing, has finally been declared dead, and he decides to pack up the family to go to his old, heavily guarded cabin home of his childhood back in Oregon, in the Oregon wilderness. And soon there's a car crash, and dear old dad is scratched by some kind of animal that seems to be walking on two legs. Not a good sign. And they come to safety in the house and lock themselves in, barricade the doors. But wouldn't you know it, dear old dad Blake starts to get sick, and eventually his attempts to protect his daughter from the rage of his past soon becomes threatened by the fact that he is slowly transforming into a wolfman. And it's a fight for survival. Can this guy's family reach him, or is Blake now forever Lupin? Let the madness begin. So, Wolfman is, first off, let me just clear the air right here. It's not as good as The Invisible Man. I will say that right off the bat. Does that mean it's bad? No, not at all. I actually kind of still loved Wolfman, guys. I really did. I dug this flick. Lee Manel is a really good filmmaker. I really loved this story. And the thing I think was the best gambit of all is, what made The Invisible Man brilliant, he tries to do again here. Not quite as successfully as The Invisible Man, but in a similar way. The Invisible Man took the premise of the villain, the Invisible Man, and turned it into an allegory of, what if the Invisible Man was from the point of view of the victim, and the Invisible Man was an abusive spouse? That was the setup, and it worked beautifully. And this movie, the idea is, you take the Wolfman story, and you consolidate it to basically turn it into a Cronenbergian body horror film, where the entire film is the transformation. You're put in one location, and it's the slow build to the point of him becoming a Wolfman. And you add this angle of generational trauma and father issues into this story of this young father trying to better himself and give his child a better life than he did. And merge it with the monster stuff. And he does. He does very, very well here. There's one really lovely scene early on, kind of right after the initial accident, where something goes wrong, a minor character, something horrible happens to them, and the daughter witnesses it, and she's sort of, she can't sleep, and he's tucking her in, and he says something to the extent of, he says, like, I'm supposed to protect you from stuff like that, from trauma, like the stuff, stuff he goes, the way I see it, the thing about parents is they try to keep you from getting scars, and they end up being the thing that scars you in that pursuit. And I thought that was a really, really interesting sentiment for a monster movie. I liked that line. I liked the emotional implications of it. I like his relationship with his daughter. They do a great job in the early going of showing that relationship and the chemistry between him and the young actress playing his daughter, so that we really understand this relationship and root for an outcome that, sadly, due to the basis of it being a horror film, will likely not happen. And so that works, and I think it genuinely makes the scary stuff scary. There is emotional investment. Also in the fact that Julia Garner's character, he's a stay-at-home dad, he's a struggling writer. She is a journalist who works a lot. And so it becomes a thing where she doesn't really have a lot of time for her own kid, and eventually has to become kind of a super mom right off the bat when circumstances lead it to that point. And I thought that was a very well-handled element. I liked the idea of a troubled father-child story linked into the mythos of the Wolfman. I thought that was a brave choice. And it is a slow burn. It is not a jump scare movie. It is not a movie that is even trying so much to be, I think, straight up a horror film. I feel like it's more trying to be a psychological character study with horror elements. And I think that if you go into it with that mentality, if you know you're not going to get a lot of wolf action in this movie, I think you'll dig this film, because because it's a really powerful story, stripped down story of this father trying to right by his kid. And on that basis, I really liked it. The stuff with the werewolves is just, the icing on the cake that is already a tasty cake. I loved Wolfman. This was a lot of fun. Do I think it's a perfect film? No. I think that even at a pretty short runtime, it's only about an hour 40. Actually, if you take out the credits, it's more like an hour 28. The credits are actually pretty long. They're about 15 minutes. It still feels a little overextended at times. And again, it's not as the revelation the Invisible Man was. So I'm not going to go all the way with it, but still, I'm going to go pretty far, y'all. I'm going to give Wolfman 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think this is a solid monster film filtered through a genuine story. I heard apparently at one point Derek Cianfrance was going to direct it. I believe he's still an executive producer, along with Ryan Gosling, who I guess was going to play the part. And I could see shades of that in there, too. The sort of tragic undercurrent of Derek Cianfrance's films. But yeah, this is a really good flick. I really dug this. They dug this movie. And also, of course, Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner, just great in everything. Christopher Abbott is one of my favorite actors of all time. He's really terrific. But yeah. So yeah, Wolfman. Also the makeup and everything was great as well. So yeah. And it was delightfully nasty too. I will say this. When it does get gory, it's gory. But yeah, Wolfman, pretty good. 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really solidly enjoyed this. It's not the revelation that the Invisible Man was, but what is? This was a lot of fun. So yeah, so that's it for that. 4.5 out of 5 stars for Wolfman. Let's close the look on it. Trailer trash. Let's talk some trailer trash. Companion, talked about it, looks good. The Monkey Red Band trailer, talked about it, looks good. Drop. This is a new Blumhouse thriller from Christopher Landon. This looks interesting. I don't think the trailer's online yet, because I hadn't heard of this until I saw this. It's like a woman, and she's on a date. She's like a mom, and she asks her sister, I think it's her sister or just like her friend, to babysit her kid. And then she's going on like her first date. I guess she and her husband aren't together anymore. And some hacker sent some terroristic type drop boxes, security videos on her phone showing that there's like an armed guy in her house, sort of holding her son and the babysitter hostage. And that if she doesn't kill her date, something horrible is going to happen. That looks intriguing. I actually think that's an interesting premise. I like the idea that, and she kind of goes deeper and there's maybe conspiracy elements. I like that idea. That's a cool idea. I don't know if they're going to pull it off, but it looks like fun. So yeah, and that's it for trailers. So I was at the Draft House. So that's it for trailers. Was there shawarma? No, there was not. All right, that is it. We'll be back right after this for a review of Nickel Boys, the much talked about drama co-starring Anjanou Ellis-Taylor. And Fred Hetchinger. I didn't even know he was in this. Man, that dude's in everything lately. No complaints here. He's great. But yeah, so that's coming up. And tomorrow's Autumn and the Black Jaguar. We also got the best and worst of the decade so far coming up this weekend. Hard Truths is coming up. And Wish You Were Here is coming up. So that's coming up. Take a shot every time Grant says coming up, and you will die of alcohol poisoning. All right. That's it. That'll be next time. And until next time, I'm Grant, the movie and TV guy. I see it all, and I'm happy to share it with you. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Love you all, classes missed. I love you 3,000. Be kind to one another. If you like this video, give it a like if you want to. Give it a subscribe if you want to. Give it the bell. I don't know what it does. That's what you're supposed to do, or so I've been told. Leave a comment, even if it's ignorant. I like waffles. It really helps out. If you want to find me elsewhere, reviews, lists, and other fun stuff, you can find me on all my social media. I'm on literally everything. Either Raised on Popcorn with Grant or Raised on Popcorn. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. And I want to know down below, what did you think of Wolfman? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below. Let me know. And until we meet again, we're all Raised on Popcorn. Maybe mild extra butter. I'm going to catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone. See you around. Bye.